Hey guys, what is going on? Dylan here. Another day, another Destiny 2 build. We're going to be focusing on the Warlock Stasis build. Great build for ad clear. Not the greatest for DPS, but it's really fun to use, and I kind of want to see how it does in PvP, but we're going to focus on PvE for now. So here's a generic outline of the build. I focused very heavily on discipline, recovery, and resilience, and those are the three that I would recommend, with discipline being very important just for getting those cold snap grenades back. Now, these are going to be the mods that I used on this build as well to obtain the stats that I did. I did switch out on the legs there. I switched out one of those Stasis Surge mods for two of the mods that give you your grenade energy back for picking up orbs of power. Now, the build itself, we got Winter's Wrath as the only super, Healing Rift or Empowering Rift, but I used Healing Rift, Burst Glide. I use the only melee available, and then Cold Snap Grenades, of course, as that is very big into the build. Now, for aspects, Ice Flare Bolts is really important. Shattering a frozen target spawns Seekers that freeze other enemies. Frost Pulse I use when you put your Rift down. It sends a shockwave out that freezes other enemies. This one is more up for preference, but I found Frost Pulse works the best. And then for the fragments, Whisper of Fissures increases the damage and size of the burst, which is going to be huge because you'll be breaking lots of crystals. Whisper of Chains, you take reduced damage when you're by a crystal. Again, there's going to be a lot of crystals. Whisper of Shards, when you shatter it, you temporarily boost your grenade, which is going to be huge because you're wanting that grenade back as much as possible. And then lastly, Whisper of Rending, which does increase damage to stasis or frozen targets for your primary weapon, which is big because we're going to be using the Vergless Curve. So for the exotic, you're going to be using the gloves here, which you get an additional cold snap grenade. It's just the one that makes sense. So, and then for the exotic weapon, I'm going to be using the Vergless Curve. This is also very huge into the build. If you're not familiar with the Vergless Curve, Final Blows grants Hailstorm. When you hipfire, you actually shoot a bunch of crystals out. That's why there's going to be so many. Now, I'm just showing some generic gameplay here and how to do this build. So these crystals, kind of what you want to do is you want to try to freeze and focus, if that makes sense. So throw your cold snap grenades out, which I will in a second here. So yeah, get your cold snap grenades out, and then basically you just want to be trying to make as many crystals as you can. So shoot your frozen targets, hip fire, put crystals out, wait until enemies kind of are near those crystals, and then explode them. As I was making this video, I found out a couple things. So you don't have to, because you do increase damage to crystals, you don't actually have to draw your bow back all the way in order to break one of those crystals. You can just really quick flick. And so this is kind of the idea. So that yellow bar died because it was frozen. It was really quick. But yeah, this is the build. It's really fun to use. I would recommend giving it a shot. I definitely want to try something like this in PvP. I'm going to modify it a little bit, but I want to try it in PvP because I think it might actually be really good in PvP. But essentially, yeah, you see the little Seekers going around freezing everything, and that's really all you're doing. You're throwing grenades. You're prioritizing the frozen targets to shoot them and create a little bit of a shockwave, which would kill all the enemies around. The only problem that I'm running into here is it's not great for DPS, though that's probably dependent upon what type of heavy you're using. I didn't focus on the heavy on that, so I'll just leave that up to your preference. So for the rest of this video, what I'll do is I'm just going to continue showing gameplay footage. In a little bit, or in a second, you'll see me figure out the flick, or like the quick shot to break the crystals instead of holding it down. But yeah, as far as the video goes, that's all I really got for you guys. Give this a shot. It's really fun. It's really good on ad clear. And again, I may have an update video in the future with a PvP version of this. So thank you guys so much. That is all I got for you. I will let the rest of this video play out, and I'll talk to y'all later. Love you. Bye.